Humble Among here with a quick little update. So I reported on the last Humble Among broadcast system that Lyte had made a pretty juicy post saying that him and Str8jaket were going to go live. They did indeed go live last night on Lyte's Facebook page. And they talked about a few different things. They insinuated in that original post, though, that Str8jaket specifically would be talking about psychopathic stuff, and he did indeed. I'm going to briefly summarize some of the stuff that they talked about, and then I'm going to show you some clips of the more juicy stuff. Lyte said that he and Str8jaket might pull up to the gathering just as fans because they weren't booked. Lyte says he is not signed to Psychopathic. Him and Str8jaket are in studio together recording, talking about if they get booted from the gathering parking lot, they're going to go across the street to the gas station. Lyte singing on the new song, apparently. Str8jaket says he has a new song with James Garcia, aka Young Wicked, coming out tomorrow. And Lyte addressed a question about why he left Psychopathic. That's going to be the first clip that I show you right here.
So why did you cut ties with Psychopathic?
You want to get into that?
How would I even answer that? How did I cut ties with Psychopathic? I guess, what, 2019?
Yeah.
I had responsibilities to handle that I wasn't focused being at Psychopathic, and I had a son. Just had to focus on myself. I wasn't where I wanted to be in life, and it was simple as that, so I stepped away.
Okay, so this next clip, Str8jaket notices something in the chat and wants to address it. And this leads to a rather long rant. I'm going to break in a few times to interject and add some clarification to what they're talking about. Okay, watch this.
8 years ago.
Psychopathic is the place to be. You even said that shit.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, for
for
sure.
sure.
Time it was, and like nobody just. You know what, man? Let me just say something to everybody. Like, nobody goes as a juggalo. You make it to Psychopathic. You fucking get to work with ICP and do all the crazy, awesome shit we've been able to do. Because bottom line, we've been able to do amazing shit. I've been in fucking movies, videos, traveled the world with Violent J. Man, I even lived with the motherfucker for a hot minute. You know what I mean? You don't just do all that and everything's just peaches and fucking cream and you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
So just so everybody, man, like, for real, like, you don't just get up and just leave one day. Obviously, shit happens. You know, obviously things aren't as fucking just dreamy and fucking as cool. You know, obviously things have happened to people that have been there. You don't have a group of 30, 40 motherfuckers over here that are hated by this little tiny group over here without shit happening. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, it's just simple fucking math. There's a whole pool of us that have had problems, and we all have the same fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, and everybody's just, you know, it's just like, you know what you do? Like, you don't hear a lot from why, what, this and that, because, man, we just try to pick up, you're appreciative for the shit you got, and you just try to move on.
Yeah.
You try to move on, you know, obviously, we did it. You know, obviously we did the shit, you know. Obviously, I grew up loving it. We loved it. It was cool. You know, shit happened. And people don't get along and shit just happens and people don't see eye to eye. It's not all just a fucking all-out fucking war. It's just people don't see eye to eye. Shit happens. But then shit gets taken way out of fucking context by fans and other things like that. And there's always like this war going on. There's not a fucking war. It just... if you don't fuck with somebody, like if you're at home and you're like, yo, man, fucking Terry just fucked me over. Now I don't fuck with Terry no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, what are you gonna do? You just move on and you just move on. You know, if people don't want to fuck with you or they try to
I'm not
tarnish you and try to fucking pull you off of shows and try to get people pulled off your shows and other things like that.
Talking a lot about this problem or problems and this giant pool of people that all seem to have the same problem. Right here, he references people getting pulled off of shows. That is actually directly referencing themselves, I believe, getting pulled off of Camp Zool. I think they said they had COVID at the time, but I do think it was behind-the-scenes pressure that caused them to get off of Camp Zool last year. Also, the more recent thing that happened with Big Hoodoo getting yanked off of Lights Out 5, which they actually reference a little bit further on in the video. Let's continue on.
Of course, you're just not gonna fucking, you ain't gonna fuck with them. You know what I mean? It ain't like I hate them. It ain't like you gotta hate nobody, anything like that. It's just, you know, when shit don't fucking happen, you know, it's just, there's a reason for it, man. And people just, you know, if you don't understand it, you're not even supposed to understand it, because you're just supposed to listen, man. It's all about the music. These are record labels, okay? This isn't fucking, you know, it's record labels. It's shit you listen to, man. Listen to what you listen to, whether it be ICP and Twisted, Lyte, Str8jaket, Jelly Roll, Tech 9, whoever the fuck it is, man. Enjoy the fucking music. That's what it's there for. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. Stop trying to dig so far into
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, man. You don't want to be behind the scenes.
No, you don't.
Let me tell you, I was a juggalo wanting to be behind the motherfucking scenes, and I made it there. I even got all the way up to getting a fucking Don charm. I did it all. I went to the fucking top, and you know, I still ended up where I'm at. You know, which is, you know, I ended up a great spot. You know, like we had differences, you know, and I still worked with ICP up till, you know, recently this year, you know what I'm saying? And just sometimes people don't see eye to eye. Shit fucking happens. You don't see eye to eye.
And it is what it is.
And it is what it is, and you move on. And the only thing, like, a big part of us wanting to do this together, too, is to let people understand.
Okay, so that was a clip where Str8jaket seems to be hinting at stuff behind the scenes, not wanting to talk about it, obviously, and saying that we shouldn't speculate about stuff behind the scenes. Probably people like me. That
fucking... You know, we want to move on from it, you know, because every time we do anything, it's always like, yo, what's up? What's up with you and Psychopathic? What's up? I mean, yo, man, like...
It's Monster.
I mean, yeah, man, it's like we moved on from that. We did it, we moved on, you know. If somebody, you know, if they don't want to invite us to things, they don't want to work with us, it's totally understandable, man. I mean, there's a lot of shit behind the scenes, and it's just like, you know, it's just people don't see eye to eye. And, you know, it's understandable. Like, you know, nobody hates each other for it. It just is what it is. And it just gets tiring when it's like we got so much more shit going on than just focusing on, like, hey, man, why aren't you with Psychopathic no more? Well, he ain't been with Psychopathic in years, dog. Like, if they would just announce that motherfuckers aren't with them anymore, the whole goddamn questions would fucking stop getting asked. Like, yo, stop faking the front. Lyte ain't on your record label no more. ABK's not on your record label no more. People aren't on your fucking record label no more. Just tell people, man.
Okay, so here he's talking about Psychopathic admitting to people not being signed to the label anymore. I think they've basically spoken on this many times. Shaggy gets asked this stuff a lot on the Palcast. They've been pretty straightforward. They've told the same version of the story that Lyte told on here. I've heard Shaggy tell it before. I've heard them tell it on the Patreon stream, on the Twitch stream, on YouTube. They've told it many times. Have they really talked about ABK?
You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to hate for it. It's all love, man. It's just like, let us move on. Let us do what we're doing, man, you know? Next question. So what you're trying to say is you're not on Psychopathic anymore? Like,
so what you're trying to say is you're not on Psychopathic anymore?
Moral of the story is...
anyway.
Moral of the story
is people don't see, you know, sometimes shit happens and we just want to move on. We're doing other things, you know.
It's always love for the juggalos.
Yeah,
I just want to make that clear.
We love everybody.
Facts.
There's always room in the future for things to patch up and other things. You never know what the future's gonna hold. You know, and it's not like I'll never. It's never. It's nothing like that. It's just like, yo, at the moment, they ain't fucking with us, and if you ain't fucking with me, I'm not fucking with you. You know, and that's where it is.
And that's how anybody should be, no matter what any situation it may be.
You know,
I support Lyte before.
And it's just
I like that, Gary.
It's all love. It's juggalo love, man. We're all juggalos. We all grew up juggalos. I got this shit all over me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at me. You know what I mean? It's all over me. It's all over him.
Yeah.
You can't take the juggalo out of me.
Yeah, but you can put a juggalo in him.
You can put a juggalo in me, but you fucking can't
take him out of me.
Yeah.
But it's just like beating a fucking dead horse. Yeah. It's just like
it's just, man, like, let's just move on from it. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, I still fuck with, you know, people like, the last 4 or 5 records I just mixed and mastered for Ouija. You know what I mean? We still fuck with people. Like I said, I fuck with people who want to fuck with me. I have a studio, so people want to fuck with me before the next question is like, well, you fuck with Twisted, that's why. Hell yeah, I fuck with Twisted. I fuck with everybody at M&E. George is my homie. Let me tell you, a little history. George has been our boys We know George since early 2000s, before he even worked at Psychopathic, when he was with Purple Hash and Ajax and all this shit. Like, man, we've all been in this pool together. ABK, Big Who. I worked with all these people before I ever worked with the Clowns.
Clay, Dean,
everybody,
Chops,
man.
crazy
Shout out
ass.
to Dean, shout out to Clay, shout out to everybody. Dougie, everybody. You know, like,
Dougie's the man.
You know, it's just, dude, it's not coming from a place of hatred or malice or anything like that, man. That's what you guys, a lot of people, I'm not saying you guys, because I don't want to pinpoint any certain people or anything. It's just like, people
like me. They talk about a bunch of interesting shit there. They seem a little bit exhausted, honestly, with the whole situation. Str8jaket talks about how he still fucks with Ouija, still works with Ouija, mentions that he's been working with people at M&E since before he worked with ICP. He also says a few times that he fucks with people who fuck with him, which kind of leads me to believe that ICP let him go, or that they don't fuck with him? I don't know. Purely speculation.
Get it out of their system, man. Like, yo, man, this shit is not as deep as what y'all make it. Some of these people make it. You know what I mean?
And then they make their own stories.
Enjoy, your stories.
Crazy fucking.
You know, like everybody's like, oh, I heard that fucking. You know, they didn't.
We know the truth.
They didn't finish Young Bedlam because fucking Str8jaket fucking left them. Like, motherfucker, I went back and finished that shit. You know what I mean? I left for a hot second because there was a record that was supposed to be done. It didn't get done on time when I was getting ready to leave, and I went and started my own fucking studio. I had shit to do.
Okay, at this point, Lyte picks up the phone and kind of scans it around the studio that they're in. I feel like Lyte's a little bit uncomfortable with all of this conversation. I think he keeps trying to change the subject. Also, you hear Str8jaket in the previous clip talking a little bit about Yum Yum Bedlam. Here you hear Str8jaket also talk about Yum Yum Bedlam a little bit and why it was delayed, perhaps. Definitely a big part of why it was delayed was obviously Violent J's drug addiction issues and going into rehab. We're going to jump back into the stream where Lyte sits down again and let's Str8jaket continue.
I wanted to plug the studio.
And it wasn't like, yo, I'm really gonna show them. I'm gonna show them how unappreciative I am by owning my own studio. No, it's just like, man, when you make it somewhere, you never think, when Lyte made it to Psychopathic, when I made it to Psychopathic, you do all that, it's a dream come true. You're like, damn, I made it. This was a dream. You never have thought beyond that dream at that point. So when you spend a couple years there, you know, things start changing. Your goals start changing. You just acquired a goal. So there's like, okay, well, what's next? You know, I've been here. I've done, you know, we did a record with Psychopathic. I did a couple Joker cards with ICP and all that. You know, I mean, how much bigger does it get than that? And then that was like, okay, what do you do? You know, well, I want to work with other people. Let me see what you know, these guys got going on. You know, like, I want to work with other people. And when you're placed there at Psychopathic, I just, you know, it's just like, you know, when you're under employment of people, you know, you have to abide by their rules, you know, and I did the whole time I was there. Well, then I was like, you know what? I want to work with more people.
Y'all see Lyte say sorry there? Let me know in the comments, who do you think he's saying sorry to?
I want to fucking work with other people that, you know, they might not agree with me working with. So I'm going to leave.
That's referencing Lyte's verse getting taken off the Underground Avengers album a few years ago.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to start my own thing, and if they still want to work with me, I'm more than happy to still work with them.
Same.
You know what I mean? But, you know, if other people can't get over that, and he wants to fucking act like, you know, I'm the bad guy for wanting to go and fucking pursue a career.
Did you guys notice he said he?
He wants to fucking...
Just now, who do you think he is? Let me know in the comments.
And be a good father and make money for my fucking family and shit. Yo, man, then have that stick up your ass, homie. Have that stick up your ass and fucking, you know, I'm sorry. You know, then that's just what it is.
I'm glad they did.
That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
He said my mustache sent him a friend request. Because you want to ride on it.
But, you know, yeah, that's just, that's, I guess, and that's all I have to say about that. So.
Adjourned.
But anyway, fucking this. These are the types of things we're doing.
At this point, they take a moment to promote Lyte's album Metamorphosis, out now. Go give that a listen. And then they get into some more talk about Psychopathic, which I'm going to interject again here in a second.
This from like Broke was Still Shining and everything. It all started in my bedroom at a house in
Straight up.
Fucking years ago, a couple years before Psychopathic, all this journey started. And like we finally, after the whole Psychopathic thing and the
did it.
Psychopathic Monster, We finally got the chance to get together and focus on
teamwork.
just
us
and just do this, you know, and I wouldn't have been able to do that with Psychopathic because it was like, you know, obviously it's like the focus is hard on ICP.
All right, this is something I've spoken about a few times. This is the trouble of an artist-run label. That artist is always going to be priority at the end of the day.
When you're doing Joker cards and you're doing all this stuff with ICP, the main focus is on them, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
It's their record label. They're the main thing. That's to be expected, you know. But you know, it just sometimes you want to do a little other stuff.
Little more.
You know, you want to do a little more. Like as cool as the shit is, man. It's just like after a while, you're like, damn, I want to work with somebody else. You know what I mean? And there shouldn't have ever been a problem with that. If you're listening, there should have never been a problem with that.
Okay, let me know in the comments. Who do you think shouldn't have had a problem with that?
There should have never been a problem with that. It should have been all gravy, baby. You know?
This is my grandpa face.
Did you know the name of the next CD drop?
Mine?
This next clip, Lyte answers a question in the chat about what's the difference between Chapter 17 and Monstar Entertainment.
I will.
Thanks.
Me and Dean will get together and we'll get
Make
the
it
fucking
crackin'.
shit.
What's the difference between you, Monstar, Ouija Mac, and Chapter 17? You answered your own question.
Two different things.
You and Monstar and Ouija Mac in Chapter 17. Well, I mean, it's basically, he's Lyte and the other guy's Ouija.
Chapter 17,
There's Chapter
Monstar.
17 and there's Monstar.
We both run our own labels.
The difference is there's two separate labels.
And two separate
Two separate people that run them.
Yep.
Entertainers that run them.
Am I asking if you guys are going to collab? Or?
I don't know.
I don't know if they were asking maybe the difference with Psychopathic. Or I don't.
What's the difference?
Enlighten that question further down.
If you're asking what I think you're asking.
That's what I was thinking.
Lyte doesn't put a Hatchet Man on the back of his CD. Ouija Mac puts a Hatchet Man on the back of his CD. I mean, that's about the only difference. There's chapters, but it doesn't really have to do with Monstar or Chapter 17, since Psychopathic is also its own entity.
As well, as all three of them are.
What's the difference between you and me?
So there was a little bit of talk about putting the Hatchet Man on the back of CDs and Lyte not doing it on his CDs and Ouija putting it on his CDs, simply because Ouija is still on Psychopathic. That's pretty easy speculation. This next clip, though, basically closed out the stream, and I thought it was really positive and probably the best part of the whole stream. This was the message that they wanted to get out there at the end of the day. Not all this venting and stuff that they did. Light venting, I would say, on here. I do think that the message that they really wanted to put out there is what I'm about to play you. After this is over, that's it. Whoop whoop. Please hit that subscribe button. I love you guys. More content coming.
I just want to say I love y'all. I love everybody. Whoop whoop. Juggalo love. Monstar love. Fucking Technician love. Magic Ninja love. Fucking LSP love. AR love. Chapter 17 love. Fucking... You know what it is.
Fago
love.
Fago love.
Despite everything, like, we love everybody, man.
Psychopathic.
All of it. Like,
Magic Ninja.
You know,
Don't get him on his rant again.
I'm not going on a rant again. I'm just going to say, you know what?
Don't get him going.
I'm just going to say, man, y'all love each other out here. There's
Absolutely.
too much of this divide shit where, ain't nothing got to be
if
divided.
you keep running everything in half, there's going to be nothing left.
You guys keep dividing shit. You keep this fucking thing going because you guys are the ones that keep it going.
Not
man.
you guys, but the guys.
Not you guys, but like people like, that feed
Not
into
like
it, man.
them.
Like, fucking don't feed into it. Just like what you like. Listen to what you listen to, man. Support who you want to support, and if you don't want to support somebody, whatever, man, then fucking don't. But just stop the bullshit, man, because it's dividing all y'all up, man. I've been in this a long time. He's been in this a long time, man. That ain't juggalo. That ain't juggalo to do that. You're hating on your own goddamn family, man.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.